I don't know, YouTube. Come on now. Not working. Mercury shadow, I have always said, is a lot worse than, with it going retrograde. And I think a lot of us for wanted to check in with the energy, obviously, of those of you who are Sagittarius. I'd like to give my brother a big wife actually watches my readings, and he said, Yildiz, I can't get rid of you. You're on all the time. So I was going to do a live just to really pay for my brother off last night and say, your husband's coming home. Yes, he's bringing a chocolate. So I don't know if I told you this morning, Giggle, about my brother at the shop. Yeah. So anyway, he's a Sagittarian, so I'd just like to really irritate you in your own home, my beautiful brother. And this is your astrology for those of you who are Sagittarius. Now, we are going to tune into the energy of obviously the Cancer and Capricorn eclipses. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's going to be relevant for you guys for the next 6 to 12 months. So even if you're going, why are we tuning into that? Energy doesn't happen straight away. Energy has a frequency where it rolls over. The karma connected to it, the paths are evolving. Obviously, with the Leo energy, I've pulled the houses of what will fall in your zodiac sign, and we're going to discuss that. We're also going to look at it from a male's perspective and a female's, and then the love read in the middle. Now, we've got 3 moon phases, one of which has already started, and we're in the Leo frequency at the moment. Now, towards the 15th, 16th, we're going to jump into the Aquarian energy, and then towards the end of the month, we're moving into the Virgo frequency of the moon phases, and they're the houses where I'm going to explain to you what's coming through for you guys. For those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. If you're needing a booking, you can go to the link below. I can channel your past over loved ones as well as directly give you guidance visually as to what I'm seeing happening for you, as well as cover the astrology to help you. Now, some of the new videos that I'm going to be doing are toolkits to help you guys upgrade your spiritual gifts, help you get grounded, and especially in your twin flame path, if you're feeling that energy really heavy, I'm going to develop some tools to help you guys there. Now, the houses that are coming up for you guys, you have, and I have bought a new deck. I can't show you because the actual phone is leaning against the box at the moment, but I will try and remember to put the name of the deck at the bottom of this video after. Now, with the Cancer frequency, it was very tribe orientation, and that was the eclipse that we went through last month. Now, with that energy, Cancerians can be very nostalgic. They can actually hold on to things. So a lot of things from the past potentially might have been coming up for you. Now, it falls in the house for you guys of life, death, money, and legacies and rebuild. So potentially you might have been looking back over loved ones that are passed over, how that made you feel. Really looking at your life, how far you come and where you want to go. And, I always say life is like a ruler. And at some point, we look at that midway on the ruler, and it can be, this is your life, and you've got this much left, for instance, and you're going, I best be using it right, But there's a lot of reflection going back, especially with the Cancer energy, and it does fall in the house of life, death, money, legacies, and rebuild. With Pluto retrograde, what you find is that planet is directly linking in with that at the moment. And I did notice with Jupiter at the moment, it is holding a different frequency, which has very scorpionic energy to it until the end of the year. So what you're going to find is the way you're looking at things, it falls in your 8th house. Flawed premises can attract true unwanted evidence. There could be some paranoia around certain things. It might be, you have a loved one that's unwell and you're looking at things and it's bringing out fear-based frequency and you're correlating it with another energy that's directly happening. And I'm going to try and close this. I tried to open it to help the computer, but it just wasn't working. We have a thunderstorm at the moment. So flawed premises, it can be that you're regressing back and you're actually looking at the notion of death and what it really is, but then you're spiritual and you're going, is there potentially, death theoretically, because we're energy and vibration. A lot of what people don't understand is, especially very unwell people, they actually are linking in with 2 energies, 2 worlds, so to speak. So we simultaneously are in 2 dynamics. We are in the dense 3D, which is where we're directly occupying this space and interacting. We also then, when we're detaching from a purgatory state, we're very interlinked to the 5D. source, crown chakra, etc. You've got to be careful what you're thinking, okay? Because falling in the 8th house for you guys, it might be a trigger point coming up at a purgatory rate. So you're looking at what that means to you, and it might be, you know, you keeping yourself busy to avoid the feeling. So there's a delayed relation to an emotion. And I do know 3 different Sagittarians, so I do feel this is quite relevant. Now, with this synergy, you potentially might be looking at your health, and by the end of the month, that's really relevant. So, you know, you must fill your cup. By the end of the month, the energy will be about that. But you're actually trying to muster up the strength to keep going. But at some point, there's a burnout point. So you've really got to be mindful of burning yourself out or avoiding things that are naturally going to come up. Now, I feel they would have come up for you last month, but it's something of a notion of a healing that you are undertaking. And this is going to be, when it does come to your tribe and your family, the reality of life and death, the reality of, you know, your money, your legacies, and what you want to become in new generational commitments. At the same time, with the Capricorn frequency coming through, another eclipse, it was in your 2nd house of possessions, resources, material value, and land. And it can be inheritance related dynamics coming through, but it's going to be in a way, and it's interesting because, you know, when we speak of divorce, we tend to think the paperwork's done and bang, it's done. It's the same as separation or healing after somebody, past tense has passed. If it's been swept under the carpet, what happens then is the healing state. You know, try not to put a time frame on a healing state. And I do feel this is an old energy. I don't feel this is a new energy. It can be that there was a new energy of a passing, especially with Pluto retrograde, but the wound directly doesn't relate to this new situation. The wound relates to further back. And even your belief system, because with the first placement of the Leo moon, it falls in your 9th house, which is about religion, your spirituality, your education, foreign countries, and travel. So for this inherited related dynamic, or the connection to this, again, it can be purging a belief of time and space and regressing back and moving forward there. So it's like you're bouncing quite a bit. Now, it could be at a distance. There is, and the religion energy can even be taking your relationship to the next level. It's going to depend on how it falls for each of you individually. It's also a spiritual awakening to a degree of seeing things from a different perspective, because with this healing in those 2 areas, it can even be you detaching from the connection of the tactile things to feel that those things are important because they're outside of yourself. Yet it's kind of balancing the 2, you know, the family and the tribe versus corporation and energies. And it can be that you're being really pulled in 2 directions at the moment in your life. The card that you got coming through for this is the law of attraction is assembling happy relationships, but the card's in reverse. It's like, do those people, places, and things directly make you happy? Or are you unhappy that you didn't get to have these connections with these situations because a lot of frequency was placed onto the material aspect of things falling in the Capricorn house for you? So, you know, being hunter-gatherer, it may be that you have an imbalance within the chakra or an imbalance in the masculine frequency, you know, hunter-gatherer mode. And that can be whether you're a female or a male, you know, really having to do the hard yards when it comes to working, being the best woman, the best man, and getting things done where it's detached you. So this energy that's around you is to re-anchor the energy into you of something that wasn't healed, but because the time wasn't given for that frequency to heal, it feels as though it might be coming up now. But you're still stepping up a level and you're proceeding forward. I'm not feeling this is going to hold you back. I just feel your perspective on these things is going to be different. And it's really going to free you, but it's giving you clarity. It's giving you a little bit of time to meditate. You could be away from loved ones at the moment, more than you'd like to be, or some of you might be spending a lot more time with your loved ones and inability to focus on the financial aspect of things right now. So it'll depend on how it falls for you. Now with the Leo moon, this is where we're trying to gain strength, but we're also looking at ourselves and deciding how we feel about certain situations. And as I mentioned, it falls in your 9th house of religion, education, foreign countries, and travel. And it may be that you guys are wanting to manifest some of these things into your life, you know, having to spend more time on your belief systems, your connection. Maybe you have children going to school. It might be upskilling as well. Even wanting to do a bit of travel and feeling the need to refresh your soul. The card you've got coming in for this is others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. Only you can tune into what you feel, right? So it might be, people are really projecting with it falling in your 9th house of religion. They're projecting at you what they think is right for you to be doing. But interestingly enough, with the strength of the Leo moon, it's asking you, because look at the way the hands are on the head and they're pulling this person back. And look, beliefs are a paradigm, but they're also potentially an egoic state. So if we're only guided by that as a compass, we can listen to it, but they're old belief systems and ways of being. So they can be very old-fashioned people around you, having expectations, needs, and desires from you. And I'm feeling they're in 4 different areas of your life, maybe more, but you're quite goal-oriented and focused. And if you just focus on your inner truth, that's where the key of this is going to be very positive for you. Like I put the quote in the community tab, and I do try and put info up, as I'm guided to. And, it depends on how you want to look at the quote. And how spiritual you are, what you're directly linking with. Hi, Dale. God's rejection, your rejection is God's protection, or your rejection is your protection from source. So if you're rejecting something and you're walking away from situations, people, places, and things, you could already be taking the Aries energy on from the moon already and really having intuitive downloads. And it's unfortunate that I haven't been able to get these videos up, smack bang at the beginning of the month, but I've had a lot of changes, so I'm doing the very best I am, and my daughter's messaging me she's hungry. Don't bother me. You have a very full lunchbox. I feed you well. Now, with the Aquarian energy, this is about you versus others, okay? Now, you versus others is very much... A lot of conflict can come up with the Leo moon. It can be both internally towards you, or it can also be with others and how certain paths, people, places, and things just aren't matching, and you're feeling that vibration, that rejection towards the dynamic. Old triggers, again, can be coming up, especially with your 8th house with life, death, money, legacies, the rebuild, your ability to bounce back, your fatigue, plus, your possessions, your land, your assets, those lost, those wanting to be gained. These new energies coming in and are going to take some time. The meditation time with the Leo moon is what's going to give you some reflective time, which can be an egoic state, but just keep trying to persevere forward and work through those blocks. It's not that you've regressed back. The energy and the frequency of people around us is quite heavy at the moment. And even for myself, I did find myself over the last 4 days really getting to a place where you find the crystals to anchor your energy and protect you. And it hasn't been a long time I've actually really superly required them, but I have actually found the higher up you ascend, what you do tend to be is a frequency to be attracted to, but also it can drag your frequency down. How to manage your own frequency is actually quite crucial, because you can create that white light, and the auric field is being depleted at the moment. So, by using your stones like your tourmaline, your amethyst, you do have to be careful, but you never change what's already within you. So when we are using crystals, it's to enhance. If you repel it, it's because you're not requiring it, or you're not quite ready for that stage. So, tune into what you're being directly attracted to. It might be something in a sense that you need to balance. I do feel Sagittarians very separately to the cards and the houses. You guys are feeling really tired. You are not showing the world what is really going on inside you. You're holding it in. There are trigger points and they're delayed emotions, and you're like, no, I don't need to express this, show this, say this yet. There's no right time though, and so if it's needing to come up, it needs to come up. It's going to happen at some point in time. The weekend was a very heavy energy. And I do need to do a twin flame and collective energy update, but I must get these ones done first. So the Aquarian moon is going to be a red moon, okay? Your goals, your ideas, your self-expression, it's going to be a bit tricky, and there could be anger due to Mercury and Uranus and Leo. But at the same time, what you will find is it's a problem-solving time, and these energies could be coming through in a sense to help you actually look at what can you do to get a balance in a particular zone. Now, the house that's triggered for you guys is the 3rd house. Communication, self-expression, short journeys. It can be your networking. It can be that, and if this is impacting your relationship, it's due to the fact you're very busy, or that, in fact, you need to communicate. The way in which you're expressing yourself within your connection might need to be looked at and altered to a degree. The art of communication is not only the throat chakra, and I do feel feminines have been really tuning into the throat chakra, but I don't feel it's yours. I feel it's more the male energies of this zodiac sign are experiencing it, because they're pushing it down. So a lot of the feminine energies are sensing this vibration, and I'm sorry if it's loud, it's pouring down here. And this is always the way. When these messages are supposed to come out, it's bloody hard to come out because the universe doesn't want you to hear it. Not necessarily universe. They make it harder for us to actually do this. So your expression's going to be important, and there can be emotions running super deep, and you're trying to hold them down, and it's like it's going to come up at some point. So you're really guided to at the moment. If you're waking up at 3 a.m. and you've kept yourself really busy, it's due to the fact that you've been avoiding yourself. And this was one of the best lessons I could learn. And a tarot reader gave me a card, and she said to me one day, she said, the card, listen, does this mean anything to you? And at the time I was thinking, okay, I'm going to hear something from somebody, or, you know, I've got to tune into what they're actually really saying. And it was many things really, because the ironic thing is we give so much of our power away to other people, places and things, that 9 times out of 10 we detach from the notion that we actually can make choices without those people, places and things making a decision for us. It's almost like the blind leading the blind and getting to a point you're waiting to jump off that cliff, and you're going, but what if I didn't want to? I didn't have enough information. Body language speaks louder than words. Okay? Your vibration is listening. So when you avoid yourself and you're very busy, what you'll find is you won't be checking in with self. So, you know, you could be cleaning your house, keeping really busy, doing paperwork, and real 3D things that's going on, but nothing is ever well above you. And if you're placing at all times everything above you, what then does happen is universe wakes you up at 3 a.m. and says, okay, listen, Linda, you have not been good to yourself. You haven't been checking in with yourself. Are you okay? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Do you feel uncared for? Are you caring for yourself? Are you listening to yourself? Your communication doesn't have to come through in a throat chakra sense. Your actions are going to speak as loud as your words, but it can be other people's as well. This is where the conflict's going to come though, because during the Aquarian moon, it's you versus others. Can you communicate effectively to get the shit together for the connection, for the people, places and things? By the Virgo moon, this is a time when you're going to go through a detox. And, you know, during the Aquarian moon, some people can really fall into that judgment energy. But I'm actually seeing the Virgo moon acting like the judgment card and the Libran energy coming through, but in a more detached way where it's looking at situations from a very realistic point of view, from a very healthy, detached perspective. Of, okay, we've had the time to tune as self. We've had the time to note the conflict, which was coming up from the last 6 months. The eclipses would have brought the frequency in to proceed forward, only to then need to find solutions because it was an unstable frequency to stay within. Yes, it is going to take time, but you're going to assess whether you can change some of these things. And it could mean a lot more travel and short trips. And is the situation balanced? Can I be 10 people? I can't be everywhere at once. Penny little, the sky's falling down. Your career house is going to be activated, your 10th house with Virgo moon, and this is the health checkup area for you guys. And again, this could be affecting other areas of your life. Your career, reputation, lack of fame, or the other parent. So it could be an energy of a person you're having a child with. It could be the energy of your mother, your father, or an ex with, you know, a karmic connection. Also your career, your reputation, how people are seeing you, but it's a healing of that energy. It's let's look at the black and white. Let's look at the real facts, okay? Sometimes shitty things happen to good people, but they also happen to good people too. And it's like what we're going to do from here on and moving forward. I'm feeling you have a lot on your plate, but the energy of shifting your frequency onto things has been, you're more than just a worker. You're more than just a partner. You're more than just a parent. You're more than that, but you're going through this real big revelation of an awakening. And it's kind of feeling as though you're trying to be too many things to too many people. But it's your belief system about it, not necessarily what their expectations are. So there's a real interesting situation going on with you guys, but there is going to be a balance. And I do feel you'll be super surprised as to the people that are going to be there for you and how it's going to bode for you. I mean, with the Aquarian moon, I can focus on what I do want in a relationship over what I don't want. It's in reverse. And it can be during this time, all the yuckiness is going to come up, but it really needs to be looked at. That there's the good, the bad, and the ugly in life. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or a bad zodiac sign. It's just a lot of shit's going on. And trying to find healing in that. But the art of communication can simmer this out so that you can get the balance and let the others deal with their conflict if it's not a you problem. Now, with the healing with your career, your reputation, the other parent, my every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. So the law of attraction is going to be really important. This is where we really need to check our health, get into light body experience. There can be a lot of healing, but you need to really nurture yourself. You can feel really vulnerable by the end of the month. Yeah, trying to find the bigger reason for all of this going on, okay? Engage in higher reason. It might be you're pleading with universe, but you need to forgive and forget. Like, whatever the past was, let it go. Don't feel that this is going to be the story for the rest of your life, because something is shifting, but you need to understand a dense body in the 3D doesn't believe it. And I'm with you. You know, it does feel very, how is this going to be? Like, we really would like some solutions for certain things. Seek hidden treasure. There's a reason why something's happening. You got to trust in the process. Even if it doesn't look like it looks like Grand Central Station in a hotel, it's like there is a reason something is happening, but it's to fast track part of your manifestation. So it's pushing you towards what you really did want. But it just doesn't look like that at the moment. Now, the masculine energies, how they're relating to this. They may feel in a way that they know better, okay? Because this card's in reverse and it's Goddess of Wisdom. So in a way, you might have told them something. This could be just a feminine energy in their life and they're feeling they're now tuning into themselves, which is perfect. It means they're in alignment with the moon energy. So they're not, the Leo energy is you getting to a place you're looking at yourself, because nobody can tell you what you do and don't like. By the time they're reaching the Aquarian moon, they see the potential in working with other people, places and things, and what this will bring, and the power that they have in their hands to assist with this change, but also the power on both sides of the fence for these situations to be resolved. And I do feel a lot of detachment by the time of the Virgo moon. So it can be a time when it's not super romantic. And this could be, you know, Chiron is in your 5th house of birth, romance, children, and luck. So, you know, healing childhood wounds, healing foundations. It might be somebody wanted a child or they're having a child, because it's in the energy of romance, birth, luck, and children. I feel it's healing an old wound connected to a child. But you're keeping very busy, and this is why it won't feel super romantic, okay? Yeah, it is. Jupiter is going direct. Uranus will be going retrograde. Mercury is in shadow direct. But you've got to be careful due to that. There can still be miscommunication. It's a lot of us externally, you might be looking at 3D, and I mentioned this to Giggle. Hi, Angela. Where you're feeling like everything looks pretty good. I don't really have anything to complain about, but inside it feels something's a little bit off. It's like you're not quite sure, and you're sensing God's rejection is his protection. Okay, so it's like something's not fitting. You don't know why. Trust in the process. You know, this can be you picking up on another person's energy or directly your energy. Regardless of how it goes, it's a time where it's not quite going to look the way it stands right now. So it is shifting and it is changing. Now, the way you're keeping your commitments, okay, this is for the males that are Sagittarius. By the end of the month, you're still keeping your commitments. It's probably more busy. You're going to be a bit tired. You're trying to bounce back after some adversity. But at the same time, it won't feel super romantic. It is going to ease up as the month progresses. But what you're going to find is the light and very fluffy stuff is probably coming through more by September, October. It's not to say it's not going to be nice. There's just the foundational related subjects that you knew there were areas that needed to shift energetically, because you sort of deem the Lionsgate portal and this point of the year as a beginning of a new cycle, especially with eclipses. So look at it as the beginning of the year, okay? Where you're proceeding forward, and it can take 2 months to ease into that vibration. Where you can achieve certain things, set targets and achieve them. Don't leave them for later, because we are having more eclipses by the end of the year, which it will shift this vibration again. And if things are built on an unstable foundation, and during those eclipses there were things you needed to let end, and you didn't liberate yourself out of those things, they'll come up for reassessment, but it'll be within 5 months. So you've got a time frame at this point to really look at those things and shift them up and change them and negotiate, so to speak. The feminine energies of Sagittarius, and then I'll go into the middle, which is the love reading. You may feel that you can't transform another person, which again, you're doing the same as the male energies that are Sagittarius. You're looking at yourself over what other people can do in the first week. What do you want? How do you see things? What would you need to transform? What is another person's role to transform and feel? Okay, so really looking at self. By the middle of the month, you feel some sense of karma is not being balanced, okay? So, and this is where the conflict comes up mid-month, and that's with the Aquarian moon. You versus others, what the damage is, where the towers weren't, and what needs to change. You guys may feel either them, you as an individual, or another person may be projecting at you, but it's both energies. It's you versus others. So, yes, both parties do have their shadow work to do. But this is bringing up old scenarios to be rectified, and I do feel it's healthy. It is coming up. Better out than in, right? And this is going to help you problem solve to find these solutions, okay? Females that are Sagittarius. By the time you reach the Virgo moon, which is the time to heal, you might have been through the ringer, fatigue-wise, I'm feeling. And you're going to be able to confront your fears. They're going to come up, but you need to ground yourself, drink fluid, have your crystals ready on you. It's going to help you raise your vibration, though, because what goes down must come up. This could be something outside of yourself occurring, but you're retreating and healing. It can be having to change your career all of a sudden. It can be, needing to draw upon references to fast track your career. Or it could be that you feel overwhelmed when it does come to parenting, or you're wanting to do something, but it's not meshing. But there's a healing coming with it, and it's a bit of time out for you where you can actually upgrade your energy for the females. Okay, so even if it might not look fair, people, places, and things, romance, the Virgo energy is very, okay, detached, let me upgrade myself, let me heal, let's get balanced. Thanks, sweet. And I've preached this all the time, right? Do you want, when you're in a relationship or a connection, there's codependency at hand in everything we do in life, and it does slip back in, and it's not that we're bad people, it's natural, it's our paradigm and the way we were conditioned at childhood. So it's like, I'm the woman, you're the hunter-gatherer, so these are the roles we fit in, not necessarily. Just because society read it didn't mean it's true. Check in, do you want to be a person's nurse or do you want to be a person's partner? And that's up to you. That could be okay for you, but you can't be too. And that's why we have those healthy boundaries when it comes to therapists. You don't date your patients because it's crossing the line. You know, there's a healthy, live your soul, not a role. So whatever decision you're making for yourself, it's because you're choosing you. If it means that you're exhausted and you need to recoup and you can't be that perfect human being for 2.5, so be it. If it means you need to go to the doctors and say, hey, I'm not coping, so be it. If it means you need to quit a job because it's just not perfect, but you really need the money and you're like, if I go another day, I'm just not going to go another day, then you have to listen to that. You've got to heal. Take a bit of time out, check in with yourself, listen to yourself and see how that's making you feel. But I do feel a lot of healing coming through this, but it means it's pushing you on the correct path. And it is part of the Cancer Capricorn energy coming through in this month on top of what's going on. And you'll find they'll start crossing over through the astrology. So although you'll have an eclipse, it's a 6-month transit. You know, it's 6 months worth of energy. Now with your romance house, Sagittarius, and this is for males or females, your crowning energy is, again, you know, you don't quite know what to manifest. You got God of sexuality, and again, it's like, you know, when I look at that, I'm feeling the energy of alchemy and manifestation and you know, feeling deeply connected to something. It's in reverse. Because you might be very orientated, and this could be a trigger from the past, because whenever I'm seeing this, it's to do with a love interest, a past life spiritual connection. Again, you know, with the eclipse in Cancer, tribe orientation, family, past life energies are really coming through quite strongly with the reads at the moment. So life, death, money, legacy, and rebuild. Again, connecting to Pluto. I feel what's crowning you guys, in a sense, is you're having a bit of a purge from the past over what you're invested in versus what you're going to invest in, or how it's going to look. And it can be the same person, be it you're with them or not. It's just the energy shifting. So the alignment is required on both sides of the fence energetically to shift. And that's very relevant with the Leo moon. Now, universe has your back, and they're trying to bring this around. Okay, this is for the masculine side of the fence. They're trying to help this person align to this new dimension that the female has created in her manifestation sense. So you probably don't even know you've done it, but you've shifted something in a sense of a need, a want, and desire through the meditation. You're wanting them to remove some obstructions, but you also want some aspects, feminines, of the obstruction to be removed, okay? And it might be on the male side of the fence. You also don't want to feel spiritually blocked. You feel somehow they're blocking you, and you don't want to be the ones to lead them to this point, to make certain decisions. And it's so strange because these cards, honestly, apart from the one card, the only one upright is God of Unity. Every single card on this table, past, present, your energy, their energy, is in reverse. Even Black Moon Lilith. Now, off the bat, what I'm seeing, both of you are feeling vulnerable, okay? Because you got God of Protection in reverse. It's like, but what you're not understanding is everything you've endured, you have purged and you've learnt, so you are the protected one. You can ask universe for help, but universe has heard this makes me laugh because this is a psychic download I've had. Do something differently, okay? You sent a message out energetically, okay, that you wanted something done a different way because you tuned in with the Virgo energy, no, with the Leo moon, plus the retrogrades, plus the 2 eclipses. You were like, something's got to shift. And it's like we've actually jumped timelines, except it's a brand new timeline, so it doesn't quite look right now. It's a bit like, you know, going over a hill and throwing up. That's what it's sort of looking like, a dog's dinner. Universe has said, okay, well, you wanted to do, you know, you want this unity, then suddenly you shifted it and you wanted something different. You've got to do something different now to get to that. So it's shifting not only a timeline, but a storyline. Keep your energy anchored, okay? So those of you that are feminines checking in, on your side of the fence, what you've got to understand is you don't want this obstruction there. So potentially a tower could come, but keep true. You were decisive about what you wanted. Now, don't paint a picture of how it's supposed to look. What's happening is necessarily happening to remove these things to shift and upgrade your life. But you've got to trust in the process because it might not look pretty right away. But trust in the process because something's shaking things up because there's a new story coming for the both of you. And this is one of those months that it just, you will understand why some of these things had to happen to the both of you separately in your own life, as well as within the connection, or with this person after the fact. You'll understand why this conflict had to come up. Now, your shadow side might be being blocked at the moment because you're very focused on self-love, self-worth, very much the Leo energy, self-respect I'm seeing. So some of you will be operating and focusing on your work, and it's weird. It's like it's quite a detached energy, although the romance energy is coming through. It's method to the madness. So you might be super busy, keeping shop, keeping home, working, be it you're in the partnership or you're not, but both parties are working their butts off, keeping busy, trying to form the solid foundation at the same time as trying to love yourselves and not go batshit crazy. And this balance is required to come in, providing you can stay grounded through it. This system you're using will actually work, but you're going to have a bit of a quiet space. That's during the Virgo moon to nurture yourself before you'll see the manifestation of your dreams. Any questions? So there is a method to this month with the madness for relationships to get back on an even keel. A lot of healing coming through, but I do feel, Sag, you guys are going to have to really pace yourself. You know, pay attention to your diet. Make sure you're having something that's giving you the energy you need. A lot of you also might be very attracted to sugar at the moment. Sweets, sugar, just to keep your energy going. And you might get hungry, but then find you're eating and you just don't feel hungry. So it's almost like the sugary sweets for some reason are really coming through with a lot of people collectively. Or eating something basic like toast or a sandwich. Yeah, really strange kind of dietary requirements. But by the time you get to the Virgo moon, it is a time of detox. And it's where we're going to check in with our health and really upgrade that energy. Yeah, look, ice cream, chocolate, hot chocolate. I made a vanilla slice the other day. And I mean, now it's just like, well, and then sometimes I don't really feel like anything. And it's been a lot of my clients as well. And, you know, they're quite amused by it. Like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I'm like, because it's abnormal for me. And, you know, because I work a lot on my spirituality and I tune into the astrology, I tune into things and subject matters, I'm tapped into it every day. So I'm always checking myself. So I pay attention to these changes. Yes. It's big self-awareness quote. It's like you're being your own teacher. Now, as I said, I have noticed that a lot of energy with my tribe on YouTube has changed. Your needs are changing. Now, you're going to find that a lot of people around you are going to go through massive changes and it can be deep emotions. You know, if you had a real rough year last year, you'll find, yes, it's still feeling rough, but you're actually now visually seeing a lot of people going through similar things. So this is why I want to do separate videos with your auric field, your balancing, your developing of your gifts, you know, how to channel, how to understand what's your energy, another person's energy, because I really feel between now and 2020, those information videos are going to be very important, or you won't handle the frequency. You can almost look at it as a fast-paced frequency coming through where we're having an upgrade. It literally feels like chronic fatigue many times when you're going through a spiritual awakening. And you're going to find, even with the astrology in retrograde, and then your auric field, when you're around other individuals, you actually, their energy's latching onto you and tagging. So it's becoming even heavier for those of you who are highly intuitive and spiritual. So really, you know, if you're guided to get help in those areas, Google it. Obviously, I'm going to be making the videos myself, but I'm feeling it's really important to clear your stones and your gems before the moon. Get them ready for the moon. Energize some water, and I will be doing videos based on that as soon as I humanly can, because one will increase the manifestation with the charged water with the moon. Clear your stones as well, and you can even charge the water even further with the crystals to help purge certain things, manifest certain things. So definitely I'll be doing videos on that as well to give you guys a hand, because I'm feeling it's very necessary. to help with all of these energies that are coming in. But if you're wanting a booking, the link is below. I'll have to edit this video after because I had to do it twice. And I'll be back to you guys as soon as I can with the next one. Love and light.